Good morning, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of Mental Growth, a podcast dedicated to ending the stigma around mental illness, teaching healthy mental mannerisms, and improve overall health for everyone within the community. I am your host, Chelsie Brewer. Today's episode is sponsored by Reclaim Global, where their mission is no more silent crimes, silent children. For more information on how to heal from childhood sexual abuse or assault, please visit their website at www.reclaimglobal.org or follow them on Facebook. Today's episode is about self-care skills such as cooking and nutrition. We will also talk about suicide awareness and preventions. Culinary therapy is the treatment choice that has become a growing number for mental health clinics and therapist offices. It's being used as part of the treatment for a wide range of mental and behavioral health conditions, including depression, anxiety, eating disorders, ADHD, and addiction. One obvious link between cooking and mental health is nutrition. It's easy to control the quality of your diet when you prepare much of the food yourself. And there's a growing recognition that choosing a high-quality diet plays a major role in keeping your brain healthy. Today, we have a guest who is a vision of Black girl magic in the flesh, a 10-year veteran who started cooking at the age of 10, with her first culinary arts teacher being her best friend and grandmother. Our guest attended the Duke Ellington School of Arts in Washington, D.C., where she grew up. After scoring high on the ASVAB, she went off to the Navy, who funded her schooling. Her military career brought her to Jacksonville, Florida, where she became a chef at One Ocean Resort. A described natural nurturer, Chef Nina Gross gravitates towards people and sees what they need. As a small business owner herself, she personally knows and understands trials and tribulations that come with entrepreneurship. Whether you call her a true food innovator, a mad scientist in the kitchen, or a whimsical chef, cooking is something Chef Nina was born to do. Please help me welcome Chef Nina Gross to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yay! So happy to have you here today joining us on Mental Growth. So let's get right into it and talk about cooking.
Yes, let's talk about cooking. Food is the heart of us all.
Absolutely. It is a meditation with a promise of a good meal afterwards. Many people use cooking as an outlet for creative expression. Is that something that you can agree with?
Yes. A lot of us actually get into, the cooking game. Is that what you want to call it? The cooking game? Because it allows us a different sort of freedom, but also it gives us the freedom to please people in a different way as well.
Absolutely. I know personally with myself, when I cook, it helps, to, pick a favorite flavor like lemons, and you can make different dishes with just, the use of lemons, or being inspired to use what you have in your pantry versus making a long list for the grocery store.
It actually, when you are cooking, it releases endorphins. So you're more relaxed.
Right.
If you like cooking, if that's your thing. If it's not your thing, don't do it. But yes, so if you like cooking and it helps you relax, it releases endorphins that allow you to kind of calm down.
Yeah, it makes you feel good.
It makes you feel good.
Put the love in the cooking.
Completed dish, and you're like, I did this. So yeah.
And for other people who don't like to cook as much,
they can enjoy the tasting of it.
Right, absolutely. Or just enjoy, it's eating in itself is a natural, rewarding experience. So, cooking that leads to eating has a powerful built-in reward system. So to keep the fun at the forefront, give yourself permission to play with your food, and it doesn't have to be perfect.
No, you know what? That's why cooking is fun.
You make a mistake. And
one of my mentors, I remember I was in the kitchen, and when you first start out, you want to follow every recipe to the T.
Right.
And one of the recipes he gave me didn't have any measurements on it. And I was like,
okay.
How much? I don't know. Maybe it was apple cider vinegar. So how much apple cider vinegar? I don't know. Figure it out.
You just had to wing it.
Yeah, you got to figure it out. That's what makes it fun. And then it becomes your own.
Right.
Then.
Something totally, a whole new recipe.
A whole new recipe. Because, yeah, I was known for not messing things up, but creating new recipes.
There's always something new in your house, huh?
Yeah. Oh, every day is something new and going on. But I mean, my kids cook. My 5-year-old, she's making cupcakes from scratch. So yeah, everything's a fairy tale kitchen scene in my house. It's like Chopped.
Cooking's a very good healthy habit to have.
It is. I feel like the people of my generation and even men and women who I speak to, I'm like, they don't know how to cook, and I'm like, what? How do you eat? How do you survive?
Peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, or they they eat out. You know?
A lot of America
we're in a society where people are always busy. They're always running or going, and they just feel like, oh, I'm just gonna grab something, or maybe they feel that going to eat out and spend $50 a night works for them.
Right. So, not for me.
Not for me. No.
But for a lot of Americans, it is that way, that they don't have the time to cook or meal prep and do those things that are really vital for our mental health.
Exactly.
So your grandmother seemed to be a big inspiration to you. Tell us about your grandmother's sun tea.
Oh, my goodness. So we lived in D.C., and we had a patio, which was kind of dope because you live in the city and you have a patio, right?
Yeah.
And every morning she would make this tea. And I didn't know, as a kid, like you just think you're doing a chore. You just think that you're doing something you don't want to be doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was just these tea leaves, and it wasn't even like a beautiful container that it was made in. It was like some kind of giant Tupperware container that you could put a top on, and she would put it outside. I want to say like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Right at sunrise.
And she wouldn't pull it back in until 6, right? When the sun sets.
All day hot.
And I had never seen a tea that dark before. Like, it was my complexion. I was just like, oh my God, it's like chocolate tea. It was this beautiful tea. And she didn't use sugar. She used agave. They used to say we were bougie, but she used agave. And I use agave now, but it was just the process of just watching this tea. I remember on Saturdays I would just stare at this tea, just watching it change, and it's just beautiful and tastes amazing. And you didn't have to put any extra. She would slice lemons in it. It was just a beautiful thing.
So watching this not really project, but this tradition that your grandmother started, is that what piqued your passion? Have you always had a passion to cook?
No, you know what piqued my passion? I was dating this guy, and my grandmother said, the quickest man to a man's heart is through his stomach. And I was like, what does that mean? And she was like, you got to feed them. They'll stay. They love you or whatever.
Right.
Well, I took that to heart. That was like my goal in life, was to feed every man.
Inspired,
right?
To feed the men.
Yes, so I have to feed men. So I remember I made smothered pork chops, and I made homemade double smoked mashed potatoes. And I made like these roasted long beans. So in China, we have string beans, right? But they have these really, really long beans. And I remember I made that, and I was like, oh, he's going to love me. You know how we are. We're just like this fantasy thing, and we're going to get married. And something happened where we had broke up or something, and he found out I was going to the military. He proposed, and I was like, it worked. But no, I'm going to the military. But yes, so yeah, that really kind of, took it over the top. I was like, oh, I can do this. But then I think when I, got into the military, and I was like, no, I'm going to be in the Navy. And then I got married young still.
Right.
And then I had kids. I think I always cooked, but I never thought it would ever be an occupation. I always thought that I would just stay in the military. Because, when you get in the military, everybody tells you about that 20 years. You got to stay there 20 years.
Yeah.
So I never thought about it. Even people would say, you could be a chef in the Navy. And I'm like, who wants to cook in that kitchen? Have y'all seen a kitchen? No. And I was on a ship. I'm not doing that. So I worked in admin. And I pushed legal paperwork and process pay. And I got away from it. And I still cooked. I cooked for, everybody else, like make them happy. But it was just, I didn't see it until I gave birth to my daughter.
Okay. And how many children do you have?
So I have 3. So I have a 15-year-old, I have a 13-year-old, and a new 5-year-old. She just turned 5.
All girls?
2 boys, oldest, and then my last one is a girl.
You got one of both,
Well, yeah, I'm done now. I'm good. Quota has been filled. So, yeah.
So tell us more about Love Lust Food with Chef Nina.
So, wow. Love Lust Food. Actually, Love Lust Food started in One Ocean Kitchen.
Okay.
I had a client come to me and she wanted me to cook a anniversary dinner. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to charge her. I didn't know. I was like, okay, yes, I can do this. And she wanted 5 courses. And it had to be, so and so and so and so. And I had the ability to create custom menus for people, just listening to how they talked. And, I would always say, well, what is your favorite thing? What did you have for your first anniversary? And, what did he do when you got married? And what did you eat on your honeymoon? So I would have the ability to take all these memories that you have and create these
recipe.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
make
amazing.
This custom menu. So I was in the kitchen with one of my mentors and I was like, oh, I have to, I have this lady, she wants me to cook. I don't have a business license. I don't know what to do. And he was like, well, you love food. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, people lust over things, they lust over your grandmother's blackberry cobbler. You lust over that macaroni and cheese that is going to be bomb every Thanksgiving because your mom is scheduled to make it. And no one else.
I'm the macaroni cheese person in my family. Yes.
No one else has that job but you. So It's like, then we just did Love Less Food. And I was like, oh, yes, that's it. And we came up with cost and he showed me how to cost my food out. I had no idea. So it was actually, I gave birth to my business in the business that I was working for.
Yeah, that's good.
And it just worked for me.
Opportunities.
Yeah.
So how can the audience find more information about Love Less Food?
You can always go to Google or Facebook or Instagram and just type in Love Lust Food.
Okay.
And it pops right up.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm the number 1 in that SEO.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Love Lust Food is a unique name. So
yes, I think that was important too because I'm kind of quirky. So
yeah, it fits you guys well. So how do you manage the balance between being a successful chef and a single mom?
Oh, I don't. My kids manage my entire schedule for me.
They're old enough.
Yes. They have phones. They know how to do stuff. I don't. I am still learning balance. Mm-hmm. I think it's easier because I have 2 older kids.
Yes. Yeah.
So absolutely. The 15 and the 13-year-old
self-sufficient.
They're not your typical 15 and 13-year-olds. They like to help and they want to work and they want to create and they want to do, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then my 5-year-old, she actually has her own little YouTube thing going on.
I noticed. Yeah, she's cutie.
But I don't know. I think I wake up at the same time every day. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day. Mm-hmm. I do a relaxation bath every morning. I don't care if the whole world is burning. I'm going to take a relaxation bath in the morning because it just helps me get my mind together for the day. And I just want to have a positive day.
You have an established morning routine.
Yes. I think if you have a morning routine, then everything else flows.
It's actually a
seriously
good proven study that the most productive people wake up early in the morning.
Yeah. I wake up at 5. I start running water. I'm burning like 52 candles. I'm doing my little meditation thing. and I don't touch a kid, I don't care what's going on. I'm going to do this. I put my phone on airplane mode and I just take that hour for myself. I think every woman needs to do that, period.
Right.
So
that's really good that you
I
have
know guys aren't taking
established.
baths, but
You've established a self-care routine though, so that's the important part of it.
It took me a while though. It took me.
How long you been doing it?
I'm 35. I just turned 35. May 22nd. So it took me coming back to Jacksonville.
Okay,
because I moved back to Jacksonville July of last year.
Okay, it's about a year.
Yeah, so I mean that's a while because when I was
established habit now.
Now we doing this thing. But when I was in DC, oh no, I was executive chef for United Airlines in that area. I wasn't slowing down. I was all over the place and then flying on planes and coming back to Florida. And then, DC is a hustle and bustle city. So
I'm from the country. So the city life, I know nothing like.
Oh, it's amazing. You get this, even now, I live here, but I still go home simply to just get an adrenaline rush.
Right.
Like
the city life.
I need that. I'm fiending for something. And then, you get there. As soon as you get off the plane, you don't go to sleep. You don't check in your hotel. You're going to meet your friends because
regroup.
Yes. By the time you got there, you got to land at happy hour. So you land, you go to happy hour, and then you go hit up 5 and 6 clubs. And, you do it all over again. You got to go. You got to do it at least once every quarter. That's when you got to do
every quarter. Wait a minute. At least once. We'll put on the bucket list.
Every quarter.
Can't take the girl out of the country over here. So
no, actually, this is an amazing place to raise my kids.
Jacksonville.
They hated DC. They hated it.
That's a big comparison.
Only reason why I would say that is because now the school system is yes, but as far as my sons are military brats, so they like to be outdoors.
True.
They like to, climb trees and swim, and
that's good.
So they can't do none of that in DC.
Most children
unless
days.
They're Spider-Man.
Yeah,
not happening.
So tell us a little bit about the appreciation dinner.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a good one. So every year I do a small business appreciation dinner, and pretty much my goal for that was I started my business in Jacksonville.
Okay.
And I started my business in Jacksonville with small businesses pushing me to do it.
Supporting you.
Yes. So it's only right that I continue to support them. So 1 year it was just us, having dinner at my house. Then the next year we moved to a boutique, and then the next year we moved to, I think, a restaurant. Then we moved to a boutique, and then we rented out a restaurant.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This year, actually. And then we're actually in the works now planning for 2019.
Made it a tradition.
Yes. And then what I did was, and then I gather it's mostly Black-owned businesses,
right?
Which is great.
Yes.
Because this year was 32
different businesses.
Different Black-owned businesses under the same roof. And then I got all the sponsored gift bags were from Black-owned businesses outside of Florida.
That's amazing.
So, I had 103 collection from Chicago. I had somebody from LA. I had Trill Tea out of New York. All these different companies, still Black-owned, sent things for these Black-owned businesses. So it was great. It was amazing. But this 2019, I'm giving out a cut above the rest awards. So I'm so excited. That's going
to be your 5th year, right?
5th year, yeah.
5th year next year.
I'm so excited.
We'll look forward to more details about that. And it just shows that, you having these appreciation dinners and appreciating small businesses is a simple way for you to give a gift of giving to others.
Just thanks. I love y'all. I just love y'all. And I feel like small businesses, we look at these other businesses where, they were a small business, but now they're making 6 figures a month.
Right.
So we're not on that level.
No more. Right.
Like they're getting appreciated a lot. So, but we're trying to get there. And I feel like we just need to band together more when we learn how to work together more. And even when you start meeting people.
Networking.
That was what the great thing that happened, besides my daughter hugging everyone. It was that it was businesses they didn't even know.
Right. You're meeting new people.
Yeah. So it was, and then there was no like assigned seating or no, you just sat where you sat. So who knew? And then I make sure everybody follows everybody on Facebook and Instagram. And so it's great. It's a great little
appreciation, networking,
3-course dinner. It's great.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Do you cook? Are you going to cook?
No, this is the only dinner I don't cook for.
Okay. So you sit back and enjoy.
I kind of like host, and now I make sure the food is coming out right and everything looks right. I'm very like anal retentive with that. But no, this is the one that I just do not. I want to like celebrate with y'all.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So we've talked about food being good for the soul. What is your ideal comfort food?
Ooh. Poutine.
Okay, what?
Poutine is a Canadian potato dish. So I made it on my show, on my cooking show. It is French fries with gravy and cheese curd. It is horrible.
It sounds fattening.
It's so good. And then
we don't have the itis around here.
Yes, because it is the summertime, I might add a little barbecue beef brisket on the top.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Because we're in Florida, I might do a crab cake.
But add little touches here and there to it.
It's so amazing. So if, again, you need to go to Canada, that's your next trip, and you're just going to go on a poutine hunt. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so we talked about ideal comfort foods. Now let's talk about the 5 top nutritionist rules a person should keep in mind if they're changing to a more healthy diet.
Okay, so in no particular order.
Okay.
One I would say is to not shock your body. So everybody is watching What the Health. Or they're watching some documentary that is telling them not to eat cow or not to eat a pig or whatever. Do not go directly into veganism, because what ends up happening is you shock your body, and that day that you have your cheat day, so to speak, you're going to run and go get a burger.
Right.
Then you're going to mess everything up that you just started.
You can't cut cold turkey.
Right. I mean, you can. Some people have that, stamina or diligence to do that, but the normal person does not.
Right.
Another tip I would say is do things one at a time. So I do not eat pork. Okay. But I just come from a family where we just don't eat pork like that. So when I started having babies, I was like, I don't want to eat pork. I'm not going to eat pork. When you want to take something out of your diet, like let's say you say, okay, I don't want to eat this, and this. I wouldn't say do all of them at one time. I would say do one thing at a time. So if you don't want to eat bread, don't eat bread for 24 days. I know people say it takes 21 days to break that habit, but give yourself those extra 3 days.
Eager to get back to that bread.
Right. Don't run to the pitas. So, so I would do things, and then, after that 24, then cut sugar, then, do that. So I would do it in
as a mom myself, I just stopped buying pork.
Oh, congratulations.
Right. So every once in a while, if my husband goes shopping, then we'll have pork chops for dinner, but they're very random and seldom now. Yeah. We are pretty much chicken and fish. Yeah. And for ground meat, I've slipped in turkey without my kids even realizing. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So
do a turkey tenderloin instead of chicken breast. Do the turkey breast tenderloin. It's like 93% lean. They don't know the difference.
Yeah, they don't.
It has no bones in it. So just do that.
So we're not shocking the body. We're taking it slow.
Add vegetables. Yeah. So if you're used to eating,
that's a difficult one. It took me some years.
So I remember I had a client who she was one of my meal prep clients, and she called me, and she said that my string beans tasted like they came straight out of the ground. So I said, well, what are you used to eating? And she was like, French cut string. I was like, what is that? I said, Del Monte out of the can. So add more vegetables, real vegetables to your diet. And I guess the next one would be and out of the can. So you want to get
no more cans.
No more I mean, kids.
I don't do cans in our house either. Right. They don't really, they do taste different.
They taste different. It has a metallic taste. And then also sometimes they put the vegetables or, whatever you get in certain brines. So they're adding salt.
Taking the nutrition out.
Yeah. They just add, because they want to preserve it. They want to keep it in that can. So I would say, definitely, I guess the fifth one would be stay on the perimeter of the grocery store. Always, get you more vegetables.
Fresh
out produce. Of the can on the perimeter of the grocery stores. That was 3 tips in one sentence. Because I know I do a lot of cooking classes for gyms. The first thing I do is I walk them around the perimeter of the store. We don't even go through the aisles unless we need rice. But to stay on the outside, there's great things on the outside. And then also for you moms out there with kids and who take your kids to the grocery store with you, create a color chart. On this color chart, you're going to do your greens, your yellows, your browns, whatever. But your goal is to make sure that your child picks something from every one of those colors.
Okay.
That will help your child eat more vegetables.
Well, actually, I've made a habit of when I cook dinner to make sure there's at least one vegetable somewhere in that. So like if I'm making chicken Alfredo, mine's got broccoli in it. If I'm just those little pieces that
try to also, because broccoli and asparagus, they're all like gaseous vegetables. Yeah, so try to, put some kale. Add some kale in there.
Or spinach.
Add some spinach in it. I know when you go to, Publix, they have a kale and spinach together.
Okay.
In the same bag. You want to add those. Do turnips. My grandmother used to trick me all the time with turnips. I thought for the longest she was making mashed potatoes. And it was turnips.
Do cauliflower rice too. So
you can do cauliflower gnocchi. Because you said something about Alfredo. So I'm hinting that you guys like pastas.
Yes, I'm a big pasta fan.
Yeah, so you
try
can
to
do
stay
a
away from
cauliflower
them, but
gnocchi. But if you do it out of cauliflower,
right,
it's better for you. Or you can do sweet potato gnocchi. You can do whatever you want with these vegetables. Honestly.
Just substituting vegetables.
Just make it, and I think people are just used to it in the stature that it's in. Okay, this is asparagus, so I just need to put it on the pan.
Right,
and put olive oil and roast it.
Vegetables, like would not touch any green, especially green vegetables. I hate them, but it was about seasoning the food.
Oh yeah,
my family are not big fans of seasoning.
He pops
their veggies,
vegetable pills.
Wait, what?
He goes to GNC. Apparently, GNC has this. It's called
to
greens.
Get his vitamins. Aw,
he hates vegetables.
I wish I knew about those.
They
I enjoy them now, though. I like my veggies now.
But I mean, don't just stop at asparagus and broccoli, because we as Black people, we tend to just eat 5 vegetables.
Yep. I got my 5 favorites.
And we stick to those, and they're usually gaseous vegetables. So try turnips, but instead of doing, just roasting them, cook them like you would cook mashed potatoes.
Right.
Boil them like you would do a mashed potato, add butter, salt, add a little sour cream in there, fold it in there, real light, bam. Put some salt and pepper on it. Your kids ain't gonna know.
I'm so hungry.
I didn't know.
It's food. It's dinner time.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we talked about nutrition. We talked about cooking as a self-care routine, or even getting up those early mornings, having that time for yourself. Suicide is trending right now with an alarming rate this month, and we have had 2 recent deaths, Chef Anthony Bourdain and Kate Spade. How have you been dealing with that or coping with those?
So for those in the fashion world, I know Kate Spade was a major blow to a lot of people. So for 4 days later, it to be Anthony Bourdain.
Right.
I think people forgot he was a chef. Because, they see him on these TV shows. Anthony Bourdain was probably one of the most creative chefs that we have ever seen. And I think I wrote a post on Facebook about how people don't get how being a chef is the number 4 most stressful job in the world.
Right.
People don't get that a chef male has his first heart attack on average at 45.
Wow.
And usually that's about the time where you make executive chef and, when you get those Michelin
Careers
star.
getting up there. Yeah.
Right. Also in February, we lost a chef because of suicide because he lost a Michelin star.
Oh, wow.
We make it look so easy, right? Because, you see the end product. You
Right.
see this beautiful plate of, 5 different things. And I remember I said, when I started at One Ocean, I was 30 years old with 3 kids, making $9 an hour. One Ocean is one of the top restaurants. Azalea is one of the top restaurants in Jacksonville, right? Beautiful food is produced. 98% of what we make was made in that kitchen.
Right.
So think about a 30-year-old woman, parent,
$9 an hour.
on $9 an hour. So when people were saying things like, how could he kill himself? Like he had, he had everything, but did he? Or was he too busy pleasing everybody else?
Right.
His wife, he was on his second wife, the second divorce, actually. She divorced him because she hadn't seen him for 264 days.
Consumed by work.
Of the year.
Right.
And what does his business do? He travels and scours the earth to find the craziest and greatest foods and chefs for us, right? For us. So it's like, this field, we are here to please you, right? We have so many, and I think I said too, I was like, in our field, there's so many chefs or cooks that I know who are on drugs, who use alcohol as coping mechanisms. I remember in one kitchen, I walked in and a chef was snorting coke off of prime rib.
Oh, wow.
Okay. This is not we don't live in a normal world where, you can get off from your admin job. You close your computer, you go home and you get kids. No, we live in a world where we cannot stop. It is a constant for us because we're constantly trying to please you because we didn't season that asparagus right and the customer complained.
Right.
So that chef that yelled at us today, he gonna be there tomorrow. So it's a lot. And then it's just stressful. I think that people forget that we are still humans. We're just in the business of servitude.
Exactly.
So it's very difficult.
And get lost in that of serving others.
Oh my gosh, you guys have no idea. I was up at 2:00 in the morning the other day making friggin' sweet potato pappardelle because I couldn't figure out why I had 2 bags of sweet potatoes and I needed to do something with them. 2:00 in the morning. Who is rolling out pasta at 2:00 in the morning? We
Chef Nina.
Yeah, really. And I'm like, dang, so now my sons have to suffer because they're going to eat this pasta. But I mean, you just think about things like that. Like when people get off these admin jobs, do they really go home and say, oh my God, like that account, I missed 2 spaces in that paragraph, like your 2 spaces is my uncooked salmon.
You made somebody sick with, right? Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's a little bit, it's not only we're trying to please you as a client, as a customer, as a consumer of the restaurant. We want to make sure that our chefs are happy too. It's a lot. It's for Anthony Bourdain. The average chef gets married 3 times. Average male chef gets married 3 times. Thank God, I got married and divorced before I became a chef. So I learned my lesson. But it's difficult. This world we live in is difficult. And then you have all this social media crap and, everybody's trying to live up to whatever the heck. Just be yourself. Right. That's why I like Cardi B.
Just herself.
Just be yourself with her crazy teeth and then her fixed teeth. And then, just be who you are. So I think that's why my business works, because I'm just who I am.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Your personality
take
pours
it or
out
leave
to
it.
your food. Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
So with that, I want to just kind of go over a little bit of suicide awareness. Suicide has been on the rise nationwide since 1999. The overall rise is average of 25% increase. Nearly 45,000 Americans took their life in 2016 alone. While there is no single factor of why these increased, the top two leading causes are relationship issues and financial troubles. 2/3 of gun-related deaths in America are suicides. It's also noted that most of these suicides, the common factor is not mental illness. Most people say, they had a mental illness and, that's why they committed suicide. But more than 54% were not even related to mental illness at all. For our audience out there, suicide symptoms, feeling depressed or hopeless, not having hope that things will get better in the future, feeling no one will miss you if you were to disappear, feeling trapped and thinking treatment won't help, feeling isolated and alone, withdrawing from friends, families, and usual enjoyed activities, increased in anxiety, having mood swings or trouble sleeping. I mean, we're sounding like a side effects of a medicine right now.
You know what's funny? Like, I'm listening to you and I was like, dang, you know how many dudes have said like I'm crazy or like, and I could have been depressed and I think that was what was bothering me the most with this whole Kate Spade, Anthony Bourdain, was people were posting it, but then they were saying, if you feel suicidal, call 1-800. First of all, from a person who has felt suicidal, we're not going to call nobody.
Right.
Okay?
Going to isolate from people.
There's, and then also if they're your friends, then you know their patterns and their habits. So my thing was, I call myself extraordinary introvert, but there are times when you won't hear from me at all.
Right.
That's when, what did I say? I said, you need to come bang somebody's door down and you need to come with a pizza and some chicken wings and wine, Netflix.
Yeah, because you ask, are you okay? And they're like, yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah. Oh, that's our line.
Yeah.
That's our line.
Everybody's line.
That's our line. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm straight. That's the new one for the new kids.
I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good straight.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, you're not straight. But then it's not even about, I know we have to know the signs, but I feel like you should know your friends. We have to be more of a friend. We have to be more of a human being. And I feel like that we're detached. We forgot.
That actually leads into my preventions of suicide. Is the number one is having a human connection. Like, it's important that the community stops this. They need to recognize that isolation, hiding behind technology, pretending to be okay is not okay. Like, make some friends, go out there, break those cycles, talk to people, connect with other humans.
And if you feel that you can't make friends, well, why?
Right, you need to talk to a therapist.
Oh my gosh, I have a therapist friend. Like, honestly, that's my friend.
Right.
I can go lay on the couch and not say nothing and cry and be like, you know what? Okay, thank you.
You just need to cry it out. That's another good one.
And I think we just did a mental health thing, and I say, we forgot how to scream.
Yeah.
We forgot how to scream. My grandmother used to let me, now I was a teenager and I was outrageous sometimes, but I didn't live with my parents. I lived with my grandmother.
Me too.
But my parents lived 20 minutes away. So it kind of bothered me as a kid. And I would come home and I would just scream and cuss and fuss, and she would just sit there and she wouldn't say anything. She would just let me get this teenage whatever
You're supposed to
out.
grab a pillow, Nina.
No.
Scream into the pillow.
No, she would just, you okay?
You feel better.
You got something to say? And she would just sit there. She would pour our tea. And it seemed like she was moving in slow motion, but I was going like this. But we don't have that trust system within each other that we can do that anymore.
I feel like it starts back, 'cause we're both moms, it starts back with parenting as well. Like
It does.
a lot of, especially in the Black community, it's like nobody wants to hear that. Take that to your room. Who do you think you're talking
Right.
to? And kids are allowed to have emotions too.
Yeah.
They're allowed to be angry. They're allowed to cry. Now I do send my girls to their room to finish their anger and crying, and then they come back to talk to me. But giving them some way to channel it and not
and
just confine
have 2 girls?
I have 3.
You have 3 girls.
3 girls, yes.
Yes. So well, with my sons, it was more, I didn't want to be like my parents. So A, I wanted to be there, right? And B, I wanted them to talk to me because I'm raising boys.
Absolutely.
And with all that is going on with Black men right now, I can't handle it. For me, it's unbearable.
Right.
So my house is the safe house. That's what they call my house, because that's where all their friends could come and the food is good and their parents know they ain't getting in trouble. And I listen in on their little conversations about girls, and I'm like, do you guys have these conversations with your parents? No. Well, why you have them with me? Oh, because you miss Nina. I don't know what that means exactly.
But that's a good thing.
But it's okay.
Yes.
But I think I get that from my grandmother, because, Nana let me say whatever, as they say now, pop off, right? But she let me do that because it was an air of expression. I had to get it out. It has to come out in some way.
Right.
But I would rather it come out in your words than a violent act.
Exactly.
So, yeah, my sons are a little different because they can come talk to me about everything, and they do talk to me about everything, but I'm okay with that, because then I have to be like, okay, I think you need to talk to this male friend.
The important
this
key
is over me. Like, talk to them.
But the key is just talking to someone, whether it's a therapist, a friend, your kids, just anybody, talking to someone and getting those.
You have to get it out. Even if that means going to, I remember I had a friend, I lived in DC, I had a friend, I drove to North Carolina, then we drove to the beach, and I walked her up and down the beach. I didn't say nothing. I was eating my chicken, but I didn't say nothing. And I think she had a Slurpee, and then something happened and she just started crying. And that was her form of release. So I think, yes, talking, have a form of release, but that doesn't end in a violent manner.
Right.
And it needs to happen before it gets to that point. So yeah, we got to surround ourselves with humans and not Instagram.
Exactly. No social media.
Yeah. Did you hear about the social media girl who killed herself?
No, I didn't.
Or maybe it was, I don't know if it was real or not, because maybe it was a commercial, but it happened before the Kate Spade thing. And it was just showing how she was one way on Instagram and social media, but at home she was popping pills. So she ended up overdosing on pills.
Yeah, putting on a persona for people. And so we definitely need to connect with people, talk to people, exercising, guided meditation. There's also Googling the Butterfly Project, which can be helpful for some people. Journaling, if you don't have anybody to talk to. If you feel self-conscious, I always tell people to throw it away or burn it. It's a good way to get rid of it.
Oh, that burning one.
Burn it so nobody can read what you wrote. It's gone.
I probably need to burn a lot.
It's like a calming, just to see the little flames come up with the words
right now.
Take a walk outside, bask in the sunlight, have an orgasm.
That's always a great one. Listen,
great
single moms, get it done
there,
ASAP.
So, these are all things available. And, as a mother, what advice would you give your preteen daughters and the rising generation for mental health?
I don't even know. I don't know how to talk to them.
They're all through technology.
I think as
apparently you do, Miss Nina.
Well,
your place is the place to be.
My place is the place to be, right? Because I got food.
Yeah.
But I think you have to talk the advice for a preteen. Oh my gosh, my sons. I call them my Dear Black Men. I'm writing a cookbook called Dear Black Men, and honestly, just be you. It's hard enough trying to be everybody else.
Right.
If there's somebody that you follow on social media right now that you're like heavily addicted to, I was addicted to Gary Vee. And I was constantly comparing myself to him, but I forgot he was a white guy who's Russian, who has millions of dollars. I totally forgot, right? But you don't have to be these. You can just be you, and it's okay.
Right.
My sons are not. They're 15 and they're 13. They are not the kids that want Jordans. They actually like just going to city trends. They are not these. Now they want every PlayStation game. Yes, they want that because they get paid to do that stuff. But just be you, and it's okay. And parents, don't be your parents. You can't be your parents. There's no humanly possible way that you can be. This ain't the 90s. This is 2018. These kids have access to a million different things, even if you take it away from them.
Share food with them too.
Oh my gosh, yes. Feed them.
Feed them.
Go outside. Go outside in these communities, in this beautiful building, and find out what teenagers are in here and bring them pizza and just let them sit and talk. You find out a lot of information by buying Little Caesars pizzas.
And surrounding them with their peers, because they don't want to just talk to just you.
Yeah, okay. So I have a big dining room table, right? Mm-hmm. And I have 6 chairs. I'm like, oh, your friends are coming?
Great, sit down.
I'm going to Little Caesars. And I'm sitting in the living room. So mine is separate, but I can hear. Right. And I just listen. Just by us just listening to them, they just want to be heard. That's it. They just want you to know that they really need that game for the PlayStation because they figured out a way to make $1,000 to help you pay the rent.
We need to talk about this after the show about these toy reviews.
Reagan is, listen, she is popping, okay? 5 years old. She was sitting in the mirror. She was sitting in the mirror. She watches Ryan toy review on YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. But she was sitting in the mirror pretending that her fans were watching her. And practicing. I was like, first of all, who fans? Well, who are you talking to? Because with such an age gap, she's almost like the only child.
Right.
But she was talking. She's like, oh, here's my little, what is it? Little shops, little
Shopkins.
Shopkins, yes. Here's my Shopkins, guys. Make sure you follow and subscribe. And I was like, Reagan, go get my camera real quick. You want to do this in front of the camera? So we sat on my bed and we had my ring light. And I said, here. She's like, oh, I love this. This is da-da-da-da-da.
And then the career begins at 5 years old. Yeah.
Let them be kids. Though.
Absolutely.
Let them do it in their own. Don't make them, we can't be our parents. I can't, we so badly don't want to be like them that we end up being like them.
I mean, it's hereditary.
No,
a little bit,
no,
just a little bit.
Stop it. Excuses. No, you don't have to be like that. I can't be my grandmother.
Right. You can be whatever you want to be.
Yeah, I'm more of a free kind of, oh, y'all want to go to the movies? I'm going to go to the movies too. You know, I'm one of them type of parents. What they call, is that satellite? Is that being a satellite?
It's not helicopter. Mom.
Yeah. Is that, maybe that's bad. I know a lot of stuff though.
Well, that's the good part.
Mm-hmm,
you know,
mm-hmm.
It's the good part of it. So for our audience today, if you have anyone that you know who is struggling with depression, anxiety, or has had suicidal thoughts or ideations, you can contact the U.S. National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255, or you can text the Crisis Center HOME, HOME, to 774-1741. That is all the time that we have for today. I want to thank my listeners out there for taking the time out of your day to tune in. Catch us next Thursday at 10 a.m. for another episode of Mental Growth. And as we bring this episode to a close, I want you, Miss Nina, to repeat this after me. I am my thoughts, and I choose what I think.
I am my thoughts, and I choose what I think.
I am fully present and in the moment.
I am fully present and in the moment.
I have a mind free of worry and anxiety.
I have a mind free of worry and anxiety.
I am happy.
I am happy.
I am the powerful creator of my life.
I am the powerful creator of my life.
I am strong.
I am strong.
I matter.
I matter.
I am worthy.
I am worthy.
I deserve to love myself more.
I deserve to love myself more.
I am thriving.
I am thriving.
Until next time.